In the last few weeks, we've seen a lot of tools and a lot of little programs for using them, but we haven't actually written anything large together. I thought it might be useful for you to look over my shoulder while I wrote a program that isn't perfectly simple but isn't enormously complicated, and the fox and hen program seemed like a nice example. In this video, I'll write fox and hen from scratch. Now, a disclaimer first, which is I've already written this program once, so I've worked out what it is I want it to do. And often, figuring out what you want to do is the hardest part. That's where you're trying this and you try that and you figure, well, maybe I'll make it work this way, maybe I'll draw it that way. That kind of experimenting is a lot of fun to do, but it's not a lot of fun to watch. It's like watching somebody learn how to play a video game. So I'm not going to try to recreate that experience. But I'm also not going to just blow through this because having written it once, I could actually write most of this kind of in one go. So I'm going to try to take a middle road. I'm going to pretend to myself that I have the idea for this program all worked out, but I've never written it. So I'll build it up from scratch, and I'll show you how I build up a program like this. And, I'll probably make a couple of mistakes along the way, and you'll see me fix those too. I'm going to record the whole thing at normal speed, but for the regions where I'm just typing, I'm going to speed those up, so you don't have to watch me slowly type. As usual, I'm going to use very short variable names because I'm going to work with a huge font and I want everything to fit on the screen. And I'm not going to include many comments because, again, I want to fit as much code on the screen as I can so you can see it. When you write your own programs, definitely use really clear variable names. And there's no such thing as too many comments. So anytime you think, oh wait, this might be a little confusing, throw in a comment. But I will show you what I've written and how I build up the program. So let's dig in. Every program begins the same way. I put in my skeleton. I don't know how big this should be, so let's say 1000 by 800. We'll get a nice big screen. I always type in a smooth. And then I have a draw routine that does nothing but some middle gray background, and I will run this program. And I've already made an error. Because I'm talking to you while I'm typing, I typed setup rather than size. So we'll fix that and run the program. This is why I run the program even in this trivial form, because you never know when you're going to make a typo. Okay, now let's start. Tell you what, I'm even going to save this. Now let's start adding fox and hen stuff. Now I know I'm going to draw the fox and the hen as circles. So they need a center X and Y, a radius, and a color. So I'll just declare those variables. So there they are. They don't have any values yet. So let's give them some default values just to start things out. I'll put those into setup. I had to put these things somewhere, so I put the fox in the middle of the screen. I picked a number for its radius, and I just picked that out of thin air. I made the fox 20 units in radius, and I gave it a color, and I usually do this. I give these things horrible garish colors in the beginning, so I can easily recognize what's what. So I made the fox bright red, and then I gave the hen a bunch of values. I stuck it in the middle of the screen. I gave it a radius, and I made it bright green. So now let's draw these things. Okay, I think that this code should draw the fox and the hen. So let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. And I've got an error. Sure enough, I typed hen X, hen Y up top, and that should be a hen R. So we'll fix that and we'll run it again. Hey, although they're not on top of each other, they should both be in the middle of the screen. So what went wrong? Let's see. I'm drawing the fox at fox X, fox Y. I'm drawing the hen at hen X, hen Y. But I put hen Y at width over 2. This is just how it goes. And this is why I run the program over and over as I'm developing it. Great. But now I realize that the hen is always going to be bigger than the fox. So I want to draw the hen first so that the fox then shows up on top of it. So I'll just copy and paste and switch those two around. And now let's try that again. Great, I draw the hen and then the fox. I'm going to save this. Each time I get something working, I save. Because who knows, there could be a crash somewhere and I don't want to lose my work. Now I want the hen to move around with my mouse. I know that. So let's go ahead and write a mouse dragged and move the hen. Okay, that's easy enough. I just assign the mouse coordinates to the hen. Let's see how well that works. When I click, there we are, and I'm dragging. So notice that the hen didn't jump when I clicked, and that's because I don't have a mouse pressed routine. But as long as I'm dragging, the hen is moving with me. Great. So I'll tell you what, let's have the hen jump even when I click, so I don't have that little delay. So mouse pressed, hen x equals mouse x, hen y equals mouse y. Okay, I'm not feeling very good right now, and here's the problem. I just typed the same thing twice. Hen x equals mouse x, hen y equals mouse y, and here are the same two lines again. Now it's just two lines, but man, you never want to repeat yourself, because someday, somewhere down the road, I may have a whole bunch of stuff in here between these two lines, and then one day I'm going to change this line and I'll forget that I did it somewhere else. I'm trying to do the same thing in two places, and I always get in the habit of putting that in one routine. So I'm just going to make something up. I'll call it set hen to mouse. And that's all mouse press does. And now I'll take those lines and they will be set hen to mouse. So now as far as mouse press is concerned, he calls this routine, and this routine sets the hen to the values of the mouse. So mouse dragged is going to do the same thing. Set hen to mouse. And in fact, I'm going to copy and paste to put mouse pressed and mouse dragged together visually so that they're near one another, and set hen to mouse comes after. So now mouse pressed and mouse dragged call the same routine, and now if I want to change something, all I have to do is change it in one place and they both get changed. All right, let's go ahead and make sure that that worked. I'm going to click and the hen jumps to my mouse and I can drag. Great, so it's working. Time to save. Okay, what's next? Well, let's make the fox move. So that's going to happen up in Draw. And the first thing I'll do in Draw after I clear the background is let's put a comment in here, move the fox, and then a comment here, draw everything. Whoops. So again, this is the part that I've already worked out in my head. The first time I did it, I don't know, I fumbled around for a while. But what I know is I want to move the fox somewhere between where the fox is and where the hen is, and I can control that with a number between 0 and 1. Anytime I think 0 and 1, I think lerp. So I'm going to lerp from the current position of the fox to the current position of the hen by some value. I don't know what it is. I'll make it up. Let's call it fox speed. And that is going to be the new fox x. And fox y is the same. So this is really the whole trick of the program. These two lines. At the start of every frame, I lerp the position of the fox from where it is some amount towards the hen. So what is fox speed? I don't know. It's a global variable. Let's declare it. And off the top of my head, I have no idea what that speed should be. So tell you what, let's set it to 0.5 and just see what happens. I'll run the program, drag the hen. Okay, the fox is moving very fast. You can see it's just barely starting to fall behind when I move fast. It's moving much too fast. So tell you what, let's slow it down to 0.1. How's that? Ooh, now I'm getting the right kind of behavior. Beautiful. That's all it took. Now, I really don't know if this is going to be exactly right. I would really like to be able to play with this speed as I'm running the program. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to use a couple of the keyboard buttons to change the speed. I'll split the video here so it doesn't get too big and continue in part 2.